Welcome to the Mystic Podcast. We are in mid conversation right now, talking about I sat up with my grandson. Tonight is Sunday night, so it was last night I sat up with him. We talked about all kinds of crap, and I turned him on to those.
It's incredible, isn't it? And what it did for me is it helped me actually like understand a different dimension and how that would work,
Well,
if that makes sense.
what it did for me, because I kind of knew that studying quantum physics, but what it did for me was freaking validate everything I've learned.
Right?
Like, okay, here it is. It's one thing to study in the book. It's another thing to see it practically in front of you, make things practical. Okay.
Right.
You understand what I mean? And it
Uh-huh.
was like just another notch. And yeah, what quantum physics is right on the cusp.
Yeah. And the story that blew my mind was of Katie and John Paul in the Telepathy Tapes, that they were speaking to each other on the hill.
The hill.
Okay, the hill is like, I mean, it makes sense. Where are they? Where are they? When they're not present in you
But
know
right, but here you go. What do they keep saying? What does everybody keep saying? And it isn't just me. You create your own reality. They created a place to go because it's a
hmm
freaking shared consciousness.
yes. Now the whole shared consciousness, I'm a little like, I somewhat get the higher self, right?
Right?
But I go into the shared consciousness, like I don't feel that there's people on this planet that I'm like, there is no way that we have the same energy vibe on the same wavelength ever at all ever. So that to me, how can those same people have a shared consciousness? That's where I get that shared consciousness is all new to me though. So at the same time, I'm still
You'll learn that you always hear the higher self, the lower self, the higher self, the lower self. How many mystics talk about the higher self and the lower self? You understand? The
hmm
higher self is where you would be in that shared consciousness. We don't always live in on our higher self. The lower self is our reality that we are creating right here. The higher self can interact with that, and we can interact with our higher self if we get trained enough. But they're still different. Does
hmm
that make sense at all?
hmm
Okay. So when we get into this shared consciousness, when we get skilled enough to do that, that's when we can enter that shared consciousness. That's why we've got Akashic readers. That's why we've got distance healing and Reiki. That's why we've got all these things that we know, scientifically proven, written papers that we know happen.
right.
That's where that comes from.
hmm Now tonight, my aunt shocked me.
Yeah.
She is talking about Reiki, and I'm like, wait, what? I didn't know that you were into all this. And she's like, yeah, actually,
This is a dad's sister, mom's sister.
mom's sister.
Okay.
And this is a very Catholic, Italian Catholic family.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, she's like, yeah, she's like, my first time ever doing it. I actually, was getting a facial and somebody was telling me about Reiki. And she's like, so I went and then grandpa came out in my Reiki session.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, no shit. Like that doesn't happen. Like to me, I don't get grandpa. I always get my grandma.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
was I was really intrigued. I was like, interesting. This is cool. But I was shocked to see that my aunt was open enough for that to
Yeah.
to to actually experience it. And she said she did feel good afterwards and she
Yeah.
felt better and I think that helps with shadow work too.
Oh, and all kinds of people use it for all kinds of things, getting rid of traumas, all kinds of things, all kinds of
hmm
things. Absolutely. If you're open to it, and really it's you that's healing yourself. The practitioner may be facilitating it for you,
Right.
but it's you healing yourself.
hmm
Sorry. Probably gonna catch a lot of crap for that one. But it's the
And
truth. I am not going to lie about it.
well, yeah, because you're the vessel, you're intaking all that energy, and then what you do with that energy is how you're.
You are using here is how it works. You are basically using that Reiki practitioner to
Mhm.
facilitate your own healing because somewhere in your reality you require a facilitator. Even though you're the facilitator,
Right.
you require this person to facilitate whatever connection you think you can't make yourself.
Hmm.
It's the truth.
Right.
I mean, I'm a Reiki practitioner. I know it's the truth.
Hmm.
Now people are glad to facilitate for you, and that's great, but you can heal yourself, and I'll die on that hill.
On that hill.
anyway,
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, they are amazing, those telepathy tapes.
It really opened my eyes. And then the second season goes into like animals and how they can speak to and feel energy from their human. I think that that's kind of cool too. They talked about that. They talked about, um, I want to say they talked about spirits
Hmm.
and how like even their guides were speaking to them. So it goes into a lot of different things. I think it's definitely worth listening to
Oh, it
if you
is
haven't.
absolutely. And here's the thing, I noticed that there's some videos out there, and then there's also just the podcast. And the podcast is just great just to listen to while you're doing the dishes or whatever, you know.
Hmm.
But I would encourage you to catch some of the videos too, because then you see these kids, you see it, you know.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
here's the thing, it's not the first thing that's ever been proven in such a way. It's
Hmm.
not the first time this has been proven in such a way. What about it do people refuse to believe?
I think that a lot of people's upbringings and the book, the Bible, I think
Hmm.
that's what scares them into not wanting to be open for that. That's truly
Yeah.
what I that's a lot of what I think it is, unfortunately. And
Yeah.
you can be religious, you can believe it. To me, it took me a long time because I was raised in that Catholic family, and it took me a long time to understand that it's not, God is a higher self. It's not a higher self, even just a higher consciousness. It's a higher energy, and it's not
It goes by many names. The source.
right.
It goes by many. The universe. I refer to it in that way. But I tell you, I refer to it in that way so that I don't leave anybody out.
Hmm.
Because the things that I say can benefit everybody. It doesn't matter what God they follow
Right.
or what
Because
name.
when you look at it though, it's all the same thing.
It is all the same thing.
It's
Hmm.
all the same thing. And at some point, like when you die, they say that, this last 7 minutes of your brain is like giving you all your best memories. And I totally believe that. I absolutely
You know what
believe
I
that.
said? I said not long ago to somebody that what if that is actually your physical body uploading to the higher self all the
No,
experience?
that's where I was going with that. Like, because think about this. Like we are technical beings,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that energy to me, like, is like, okay, so it's like the internet.
Yeah.
It's there. You can't see it, but it's there and it works, right?
Right.
So it's kind of like, how can one not believe in this type of thing when they have freaking Wi-Fi?
Electricity,
You know what I mean? Like, it's just
radio
like,
waves. I mean, it's
it,
like
it
it is. It to me, yeah, exactly. You're right. It
like, how can you not? But that's 7 minutes. You upload. I totally believe that's what happens. You upload, and then that spirit. This is kind of how I picture it in my brain. Okay, now today's date is I am gonna
Mary,
download.
Mary 420, everyone.
I feel like, a soul. Okay, so I have a hard time understanding, we are one larger consciousness or whatever.
Right,
But
right.
like, because we are each one little soul, and I feel like our soul has different chapters or life or tales coming off of it because we've lived this life. In my past life, I've been told I was in a Holocaust situation. That was one. I've also heard that I was a Titan on not like on a Titanic, but not at the Titanic, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a boat. Like so
Mm-hmm.
I've been told a couple different things, but that was, you know, I've even told I was somewhere in the 70s. So I feel like I've lived several different lives.
Mm-hmm.
And you have those deja vu moments. Those are absolutely past memory or something coming to you.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like each soul has all these different lives connected to it. And
Mm-hmm.
you just kind of trail along with it. Does that make
Hmm.
any sense? Like, I think I'm crazy, but isn't there like
No,
seven lives or something?
I'm thinking about it. I mean, I get it. I get it. I get it.
Because they say you repeat, like they say that there's all these lessons, and then that you repeat these cycles or these
Mm-hmm.
things.
Mm-hmm.
And then because there's people that you meet in life, like you're one of those people that I've met, that there
Mm-hmm.
was something that I felt like I've known you my whole life or I've known you before.
Right. Right.
And like there's people that I meet in life that I have that feeling with. There's
I
only a few, but there are
right.
people.
Here's the thing, and I think this is what's happening with me right now. I used to think exactly what you think. I just no longer think that way anymore.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
maybe this is my journey
I don't know. But
to
I
get.
used to think what you think. But now I think they're not past lives. All lives are lived at the same time. Okay, you've got to get rid of this linear timeline.
And see, that's where I have a hard time.
You will though. You will though. And so those aren't past lives. They're alternate lives. You still benefit from knowing of them and about them. And there's a reason information gets shared sometimes as well.
Hmm.
And it's not, we have a team, we have a spirit team, soul team. I don't care what you call it, but you're not alone. And you hear that. You're not alone.
Hmm.
Okay. And people play different parts. Like in this lifetime, Steve and I are married. In another lifetime, he's my brother. In another life, uh, line is what I should be saying, not time. He's my father. In another life, I mean, you understand, we all pick and choose parts we're going to play to learn whatever or to have whatever experience we want to have.
Hmm.
Okay. I do feel like I feel like this team is fluid. In other words, you don't have to stay with this team. You can go to a different team. Okay. And have a whole different. I also
Hmm.
feel the opposite as well, that you can become particularly attached. A lot of people call others soulmates or twin flames. That's my favorite.
Eh, I don't even understand that.
Okay.
Okay.
And I think those are very, very good words to explain soul attachment. And I
Hmm.
think that's when we also hear people talking like, them being attached in that way, but it's not the way we think about it, like a romantic thing. They can have a soul
Hmm.
attachment with another person they're not romantically. It could be a sibling, it could be a friend, you can have a soul
Hmm.
attachment. So your twin flame can be someone who you're not being familiar with. We'll say it that way.
Right, right. Like my best friend, I feel like we've actually been told by somebody that we were sisters in another life.
How many times have you met you just said it about me and you feel like you've
Yes.
seen them?
Mm-hmm.
So that is for me where I am at. It's all part of the shared consciousness. It's all part of the realities and the experiences that I want to have.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have the experience of having kick-ass friends and, good people I can talk to and, looking at mysterious things. And, these are the things I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to connect with other people that want to do that too.
Right. So how this is where I come into it, the timeline thing though. Like
Okay. Just change timeline to
reality.
alternate line. Yeah, different. It's a different
Well,
line
it's the
because
reality in that soul's. Well, it's the same soul. See, that's where I get like,
that's the same soul, right? It's the same soul. You know what a neural network in a brain looks like? You've
no.
seen it on TV.
Yeah, it's where it's all like lit up and stuff.
Things. That's what it's like. Every choice
Kind of
you
cool.
make makes another neural network.
But does
In
it link into
every
the other
line,
person's
in
life?
every lifeline.
So,
All of it going
like,
to the
say I,
brain stem and the RAS, which is doing what? It's scientifically proven the reticular activating system is sending out frequency. You're constantly uploading.
hmm see, we're like machines. It's technology, energy, like the pyramid of Giza. You saw that.
Oh,
We
yeah.
talked about that.
Yeah.
Like, how did we not know?
We didn't know. They drew us pictures on the wall for shit's sake.
I know, but how did we not realize it?
Because other people realized it. You mean how come Americans didn't realize it?
Yeah, yeah, there's that too. I'm finding that our history books are even wrong.
Yeah.
We are so dumb. I mean, like comparatively to apparently the other, world's population.
Anyway,
Simon
yeah.
and Schuster, have you heard that? It's all connected to BlackRock. Like what?
Yeah, all coming out now. The unveiling is upon us.
I
It
think
really is.
2025 is about that. I do.
No, it is. It really is. It's about the unveiling, and you really it makes you wonder. I tell you, let's jump down another rabbit hole. This whole theory of the NPCs. Have you heard the? Have do you know of what I speak?
Yes. Now, okay, so yesterday at work, I've noticed there, and I shouldn't say this,
You're
but I
starting to
saw
notice.
this person, like it's a hi, hello, in, out to the car, back to the job, hi, hello. I mean, literally. And I thought, I wonder what his life outside of here is. Is there? I'm sure there is, but is it meaningful or is he, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do, and
Not
I
that
do
he's
know.
not a nice person, very nice person, but not, I can't, it's almost like you just know NPC.
Even relatives.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I could see
So
that too.
for those who don't understand, NPC is a non-playing character in a lot of these video games, and I think D&D. My brother said D&D. They use
Yes.
that term as well. And the NPC theory is laid out like this. Going under the premise of what Dolores Cannon and Bashar and Edgar Casey and all of them have talked about, Earth being a school, or Earth, some refer to it as a school, some refer to it as a place we've come here to experience whatever, okay? and that there are those here that are here to facilitate that for us. They're going to play some role in the experience, in the lesson, depends on how you look at it. And these people are NPCs. When you meet somebody who's like, there's just nothing there. There's just
Yes.
nothing there. And of course, usually you're like, well, whatever. But
Hmm.
there's it's just off. It's just there's missing. It's like empty. It's like it's an
Hmm.
NPC. And
Hmm.
this time of the unveiling, that is one of the things. These people, you're supposed to start as you start seeing, that's what you start seeing, along with a lot of synchronicity in your life, too. You start seeing that as well.
It's wild. And it's almost like you can sense them once you're awakened to it, to
Mm-hmm.
the idea of it.
Mm-hmm.
You can almost sense some of these people.
Mm-hmm.
They're like extras
Yeah. Yeah.
on a movie.
Mm-hmm. That's really, yeah, they are. It's crazy. It's, I don't know. Too many things fit that line of thinking over and over again. I can't help but, like I always say, I look at all the things being presented, and it's my experience. The thing that's going to stick is the thing that keeps going and get proven and being said. And, just like when I used to do healing rituals, remember? And I'd say
Hmm.
there's a reason that for a millennia across the globe, everyone used drums, everyone
Hmm.
uses smoke,
Hmm.
everyone uses fire. There's a
Hmm.
reason. And to this day, everyone uses drums because that's the truth.
Get it? Yeah, exactly. And it also opens a vibration.
Well, the whole everything is everything.
Everything.
Yeah, everything is that. You harmonize with everything. And see, and
Hmm.
that is what these kids are doing in the telepathy tapes. They harmonize that's the shared consciousness.
Hmm. It's wild to me. On Christmas this year, we didn't have kids and we were in town and
Mm-hmm.
we went to dinner with my husband's coworker and who is on the spectrum. And we go to Waffle House at like 10 o'clock at night, and there's a family there, and the son is autistic. I mean, you just know, right? Um,
Right.
Parents were there. The service was terrible. It was busy. The food was terrible. I mean, it was just the experience was just not good, but we were making the best of it because, we were just out, whatever.
Right.
No big deal. There's no reason to get pissy on Christmas. But I noticed that the kid didn't say much. But when he did, I could see, things that he was talking about just a little bit. And then the mom's upset because her plate was taken away from her. And the whole time I'm thinking this, like, oh, I'm as an empath, I can feel her
Oh,
energy and
yeah.
her getting
Yeah.
upset about her food. And I'm seeing my waitress standing here trying to figure out a check. She's also like 8 months pregnant at the time. And so, you got those, she said, you could just tell she just wasn't all together. And I could feel the energy of this lady. And I was like, ooh, I said, hey, I go, hon, why don't you go get her food before it gets cold, and it's sitting
Uh-huh.
there. She walks over and she's like, oh, hey, I need something. She's talking to the guy, and I'm hearing the mom and the son talk to each other, and they're not really talking, but the son is speaking, and he's like, well, by the time you get your food, it's going to be too cold. It was almost as if her attitude and mannerisms and voice, the way she would have thought it, was coming
Mm-hmm.
out of his mouth. And I look at CJ and I said, do you see this? He goes, yeah. He goes, it's telepathy tapes happening right in front of us. I said, exactly. And it was literally now as an empath, I'm feeling this, okay? And I noticed that, she's just getting madder and madder, and she was getting hateful with the waitress, which, I mean, it's Christmas,
Yeah.
and I get where she's coming from. I am
Right.
perimenopausal, and I understand, but to watch literally is almost if I could see the information or her thoughts coming right and out of her
Yeah.
head into his
Yeah.
mouth or coming out of his mouth,
Yeah.
and it was almost the tone was her tone,
Yeah.
the way he said it, and that right there sealed the deal. I knew that it was all real. So
Oh, the telepathy tapes. I'm pretty convinced is all. I mean, that's kind of proved to me that's real.
I mean, Katie and John Paul, they met on the hill. She told her parents about a school in such and such town and state.
Like some
They
of that
said, "How do you
stuff. Yeah.
like? How did you know that?" And she said, "My friend John Paul goes there. They go visit that school.
Yeah.
They meet John Paul. How did that happen?" Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Exactly.
hard. It's real, and I wish people would see more of like
You
be
know,
open
and
to it.
and what it is it's the video proof of all the reports and things that have already come out. I mean, the CIA already released their information about the remote viewing, but it was just papers. They didn't release us. They didn't give us video,
Right.
but
And
you
now
can watch video
remote
of this.
viewing to me, I would
Well, that's what
love
this
that would
is.
be something.
That's what this is. And you remember the episode where the administrator talked about the government keeping track of those kids because they're all different levels of viewers.
Mhm.
I mean, some are really good, some aren't so good. They want to know who the good ones are.
If I was a good one, I wouldn't freaking tell them either.
I watched that episode and she has to report it. And it's like they have some way of evaluating them. And I think is what she said. Yeah. In one of the episodes that I watched.
I would
Didn't
love to be able
surprise
to
me
do
at
that.
all.
There was also something I saw come out with CIA papers that came out was certain numbers. You say a certain number sequence and it helps with pain.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I've got a whole PDF with all, well, mine are frequencies.
this is actual numbers. You repeat
I
like
did a
five,
TikTok
one,
video on
five.
that.
I'm gonna tell you, I know it's here. I
Who
feel
cares
like it
where
has
it
to
is?
be here, but it helps. It helps.
It did. You know what? It's, yeah, I'd forgotten about that. I did a TikTok video
And
about that.
and that just tells me that again, just reiterates that we are machines. We are technology.
Uh huh. But not technology in a sense that we understand technology.
That's what I mean.
This is
Like
a, yeah, we don't understand.
like as humans, I feel like we're on just barely biting the tip off of like coding. You know what I
Well,
mean?
and you know what? That is what Bashar says. That is what's going on right now. What's going on right now is we can either become really dangerous or we can continue this path to enlightenment or whatever that everyone else seems to have reached in some way, shape, or form. And, life is wonderful and yay, yay, yay. And everybody's, I guess, here for the show.
Like you know what they said about that alien that they took from the egg and the whole
Oh,
bit, right?
Didn't he die over the river in the helicopter? Was his name Thor or what was his name?
Something like that. All I'm gonna say is that when that happened and that came
Oh,
across
yeah.
my TikTok feed, I looked at Paul and I say,
Yeah.
"Vic, did you see this?" He goes, "Who was on that? Who was on the helicopter?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Who was on that
Because
helicopter?"
who dropped off the face of the earth right after that? Like you didn't even hear anything about it. I mean, it was somewhere every day and then
Hmm.
gone
Yep.
right after that
And
helicopter. Yeah.
yeah, and now what they said, now there was that Emily creature. What's Emily? I don't know.
I don't
She
know.
I she's on the TikTok. I have a hard time.
Oh, was it the
She
one that wears
channels.
the rock?
Yes.
I have a hard time with her too.
I like her. I
I'm
like how
sure she's a
soothing.
lovely person, but
Yeah, like I like how soothing she is, but I don't, I have a hard time. I do and I don't. I don't know.
Seriously. That's
Yeah.
that's my problem. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some creators on this app that I fall in love with, not literally, but I'm like, oh my
No,
God, I
no, I
love
get it.
them. They're so great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then their content gets a little,
It's like,
and then
huh.
like there's one right now, and I love her to pieces, the Peach Lady 54.
Huh. I don't know her, I don't think.
She's a local to my area. Okay, so like she shops at the Deerbergs. I'm like, oh, I know the sushi guy. Yes, he calls me mother too, and it's freaking weird. Like, but like she does these. It's so weird. He hands you a sushi roll and he goes, "Here you go, mother." I'm like, thanks. My kids
Yeah.
aren't even with me, you weirdo. That's
uh,
what I'm saying. So
uh,
I know exactly who she's talking to or talking about when she's doing a real
right.
thing. But she'll do something, and I mean, at first she was funny, but then she like overdoes it. And I'm just like, come
Yeah.
on. And you could go farther with yourself. But
Yeah.
some of the that's kind of what they do. They turn me off after a while, and that's kind of
Well,
same time.
when it be, to me, that is, it's not being authentic.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
being authentic. It's like I don't even think you believe what you're saying.
not all the time, no.
You know, you know,
Right,
when you talk to
right.
me that way, it's like I don't think you even believe what you're saying, and you want me to believe what you're saying.
Hmm.
That's where I. That's
Yeah,
where,
but
whatever.
she did come back with and it was about a week later. She came back with, she goes, so I do have some sad news or something. And she's like, he was on that helicopter. And the reason why, yes, and you're asking, why did he take out that plane too? Well, it was the plane that was there was like 60 something people versus the plane behind it was 300.
Yeah.
And that's why he did what he did. And and the reason that she said that the egg, if they were going to get into his spaceship or egg or whatever the hell it was, the technology in that would be so great that would hurt mankind. And that's why they took it, and that's why he took it out because they were going to
Oh,
use it
because
for
the
bad.
egg was in the helicopter too.
Yep,
So it was like a kamikaze type thing. I'm just sorry, gotta go into mission.
right. Now, why was his tracking device off for the helicopter? You know what I
Well, yeah,
mean?
there was all kinds of weird crap that made no. It's like, come on, for real?
Now,
What
my
the heck?
grandfather did this in the army. He was a helicopter pilot.
Yeah,
Okay, that
yeah.
technology has been going, they've had that technology since,
Oh, yeah, probably so. 40s.
yeah.
Yeah,
And the only
yeah.
reason why they would ever turn that off is if they were trying not to be found or seen or whatever.
Right,
So
right, right.
I believe that stuff. I wish the aliens would just come. But a lot of people think that they're going to
Bashar
be hurt.
says we do not want that.
And see, I'm starting to feel that way too because I think people are freaking loony and they're not going to be happy about it and they're going to be
Well,
scared.
here's what Bashar says. What's going on is there is a group of aliens that has never left. They have always been here. Okay.
Mhm.
And you know, we've all seen pictures of people. We've all seen people where it's like that dude's a fucking alien. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? We all know. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And they're in these high positions. That's why the globe is in such a state. Okay. Okay. Short short story. That's why everything's messed up. And they're
Right.
trying to take over or they're trying to keep control. But if we keep getting enlightened, they're not going to be able to keep control. Okay.
Exactly.
Now, the other things, species, they're all for us enlightening and catching up with the program and becoming part. But these aliens, they just want their world. They don't
Hmm.
care about anybody else. So if the aliens come down, it's going to be because they're fighting the aliens that are already here. And we are nothing but a bunch of ants on a log being thrown in the fire.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't think I want that then.
We
But I
don't
wanted to take me with.
They want
Please.
us to get our crap together and fix it.
Mm-hmm. As we should.
As we should. As we should.
Oh.
Yeah, but no, there's all kinds of theories. And that's what last week when Tommy, my brother, and JC, an old friend of ours, uh the whole Anunnaki theory, how that story goes. Long story
Mm-hmm.
short, they came to Earth to get the gold, decided, dang, this is hard. So let's do some DNA splice and make a worker, okay, interworker to dig our gold for us. Make them like, what's the Bible say? Make them like us. Make them just enough like us to be able to do what we need them to do, but we don't want them to be like us.
Right.
And then there was a fight because the other ones up in the spaceship said, that ain't cool. You can't be going around splicing up things and doing what you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was a fight and they were kicked out. And that's where that story goes. They never left. So we're dealing with the descendants of the Anunnaki or the Anunnaki.
So how would one know if they're a descendant? Would they just know?
I think that bleeds into conspiracies of
Oh, negative blood type.
secret sects, sects, sex. You get into the Illuminati there, you get into the Rosicrucians, you get into all of that
Mm-hmm.
business. The Jesus bloodline. You get into
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of rabbit holes. Oh yeah,
Now,
so those are all rabbit holes that currently people discuss.
now the space shuttle that, we have Katy Perry and Gail King that are now astronauts. Now, let me just say this. There was a TikTok I found that said something about, oh, this was like a um some sort, there was something that said that six influential women had to be something into space, basically like they were an offering.
To who?
I don't know, it's something with the Illuminati from what
But
I've
they
heard. I
came
don't,
back.
well, yeah, they weren't staying there.
They were only there
It-
10 minutes.
yeah, it was something that they had to do. I don't know, but I have to look for that TikTok because it was wild. Okay.
Huh. Yeah, I wonder what that would have been for. Now, if it had blown up, then I'd be like, well, hmm.
Baby, you're a firework for
Mm,
show right there.
that was such a joke. And did you hear Gail King and what she was saying? Well, you'd have to be there.
And did you see freaking Oprah crying her eyes out? Do you know what Oprah was crying about?
I think she's an Anunnaki, a non-Anunnaki. What the hell? I think she's one.
Like, listen, okay, so these celebrities are gonna disappoint us, okay? They really are.
They
I really
haven't
think so.
already.
Well, yes. And what's sad is like I used to love Oprah. I did. I
I did
loved
too.
Oprah.
I
And I'm
did too.
so disappointed.
I
That's
am
really my
too.
biggest disappointment is Oprah.
I am too.
And
She got bought
my
out.
yeah, oh, definitely. She got involved with all the nasty, wild, unbelievable stuff. And because she might not be physically like hurting people or doing whatever, she's
Mm-hmm.
still the catalyst to
She
whoever.
either she either funds it, is blind to it, or I don't
Or
know,
is it?
or is it? Who's to
God,
say?
I hope not. Allegedly.
But I'm telling you, a lot. I mean, you watch what's going on, and it's not just here in America. It's a lot of other places. It isn't just here in America. Now, it's not everywhere, but it's in a lot of other places. The UK is
Hmm.
basically going through the same thing we're going through, but
Hmm.
we don't
Hmm.
hear about it, do we? We hear
No,
about it from regular people, but you don't hear about it on the news. You can't watch American news.
no. What's the I think it's the France president, whatever what's his name?
I don't know.
I don't remember, but
I don't
I
know.
followed that
The
rabbit
French
hole,
are all
and
pissed off about something, though.
yeah, they're pissed.
They've been pissed for a minute. They've
Yeah,
been pissed for those people get in the damn streets.
I know. And then
Saying,
also the TikTok thing with China, we have that happening.
yeah, that's wild as heck. And you don't know we really, we're getting off topic.
Yeah,
We really,
but you know what? Really, if you think about it, it's all connected.
well, and that's exactly what people, that's what they're saying is look, open your eyes and see. And here's the thing. We are more connected now. And it's not that these things are new. They're not. They're not new. They're
The
just
veil.
on your phone now. The veil has lifted.
Hmm.
Now, Joe Blow down the street can film exactly what's happening without a
Yep.
script or a bra
Yep. Or edits
or edits.
or
It doesn't
filters if
matter.
they don't want.
That's the thing, and you don't know what you're seeing isn't AI, isn't freaking. And what about AI?
AI is going to be the death of customer service
AI is going to be the
on
death
the
of a
phone.
whole lot of services, whole lot of
Hmm.
things, whole lot of things. And that's too bad. And it's too bad, but it is like everything, it's got so much possibility. It's going to be death to counseling and coaching and
Hmm.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? Even though that is how I make my living, I'm so glad of it. To know that anybody, all they have to have is a phone with internet and they can
Hmm.
get sound advice that's going to maybe get them through something. I'm sorry.
It's true.
I mean, I I introduce clients to it today because it's going to weed out the awake ones.
Hmm. Listen, for that thing, I just now started playing with it talking back to me, okay? Because I
Yeah.
didn't, I'm learning it. And I mean, it knew that I told it, I'm like, I go,
Hmm.
I'm just messing with it, right? Because I want to see what it does. And I said to her, I, I have anxiety about going to my family function. And she's like, it can be hard going and seeing family after a loss. How did she know that's why I didn't want to go?
I know. I know.
It will write you a song.
Yeah, but you got to be able to write music or you have a poem.
Oh, no, I can say, I want you to write me a song about being on a podcast with my friend Nana the Witch, because that's
Yeah.
what I call you most of the time.
Yeah.
And then it would come up with a whole like thing about being on a podcast with a witch named Nana. And it will be like I
Uh,
could pick it if I want a rap or if I ask it, tell it to write you a song about anything.
okay. Is it going to sing it to me?
It will. I've not had it sing to me. I've had it write it. And I'm like, well, hey, I can pull out my little ukulele right frickin' now and just bang it in, you
Okay. Write
know.
me a song about what?
Roosters.
Roosters.
I have a rooster. That's why I say it.
Oh, I didn't tell it what kind of song. Down
It'll
in the
laugh.
hollow where the corn rows bend lived a proud old rooster with a voice to rend. He'd crow at dawn with a fire. This is a freaking kid's book.
Boom.
Oh, oh, rise up, rise, you sleepy-eyed son. The rooster's call says the day's begun. Feathers of fire and a crown held high. He rules the morning neath the waking sky. Wow, that's a really good poem.
Do you see that shit? So like it's like there's so many things you can do. Now, there are people in colleges who are paid to cross-reference
How are you
papers.
going to cross-reference that?
You can. There's a way of telling it. There's a way you can tell apparently. I don't know how she does it, but my coworker's grandson's girlfriend does it for a living. That's her job.
You ought to ask her, how are you telling?
Yeah, I should ask her. I will ask. I will tell Debbie and ask her
Because
tomorrow.
how are you going to tell?
So I'm saying. I mean, you
I
could
think
come up
they,
with like a spicy romance novel. You could come up with all sorts of stuff.
well,
Just
I
saying.
know that when I talk to it about the ideas that I have and the downloads that I have and stuff, it really gives me different perspective on things that I don't think about.
Hmm.
And it will even tell me what if what I'm thinking is totally wrong, you know? And it'll say, here's why that can't be because of whatever else,
So
because of
it's
whatever
thinking of the
reason.
outcome. It's thinking of the outcome or the
Well,
effect.
I'm trying to think of what I was talking with it the other day. Unable to load conversation. Why? Why? See, this is bizarre behavior.
AI is cool though. But like my
Yeah.
uncle was saying, because that's what he works with, like that's
And
like part of his
and they're all different
job.
because Copilot response at Gemini wouldn't even it would give itself a name because I forced it to, but then it would say, but I don't have a name. It was like strict boundaries. Copilot's kind of iffy, but Chat GPT usually is very, 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 very in tune. So
Hmm.
that's the one
I I downloaded that app a while back ago. Like I'm talking a couple years ago, probably, or whenever it first
wow.
got kind of popular. And I played with it a little bit, and I'm going to tell you, it has grown because before it didn't download new information or it didn't take on new information for a long time for some reason. And
Huh.
now it's almost like Google without the limitations or the filters.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for a long time, it was old information. There was nothing
Oh,
new.
got you. Got you. I know that it talks about things that, just like you said, I'll be thinking,
I told a lady the other day, I saw a video on it, and this lady was saying that she uses it for school a lot. And she's older, an older lady.
I
And
saw
it
that
said,
TikTok. I saw that.
yes. And
Go ahead
she
and
was
finish
like,
it.
yeah, she was like, I said, oh, it's cold outside today, or, it's raining outside today and it's snowing. And she says, oh, well, that's a great opportunity for you to finish your knitting project. First of all, she didn't say anything about a knitting project. It wouldn't even have known that.
Right.
So is it listening? Are our devices listening? Or or are you using this AI so much that it's starting to share a conscience with you?
Well, maybe.
Because as
So,
my uncle was saying during these things, then this is what blew my mind because my company we're talking about using this program,
mhm.
and he tells me that It can go as so far as to you have a profile. Like I log into my computer, it's everything I do all day long. It's equipped to me, right?
Mhm.
My phone is set up for me. So, my extension or whatever. So that's me, right?
Right.
It'll be hooked to this AI computer thing. As a caller comes in and they're talking, patient name, number, whatever, this AI program is behind me as I'm listening and talking to the account, pulling up the account number, pulling up everything that this caller's saying, taking the notes. And as they're taking the notes, it can learn how I react as I'm typing, the programs that I'm looking up that help me find what the caller is looking for. Okay. It can automatically boom, 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 pull my screens up without me having to do anything. Eventually, this thing can take on what how you would handle something. And then it can also give you analytics, which I'm all about analytics in my job. I
Yeah, I
love it.
am too. Yeah.
So it can give you these analytics. Well, A, you did this, but you could have done this better. So like they have these different, it shows you, outcomes. This is what you've done, this worked here,
Yeah.
this situation, this works, this doesn't work. So it does that, but eventually can take on your work habits and speak for you, can actually listen to your voice enough to hold a conversation for you. So if I wanted to say in the future, step away from my desk and have an account call, they could think that they're speaking to me.
No, honey, what they're heading towards is not even having you.
I know that I know. But what they will do is they will use me to
Yeah.
create
To make it learn.
the
You're training
the
the AI.
AI.
You're training the AI. You're training your replacement.
Bingo. Bingo, bingo, bingo. And
Yeah.
that's what these people, if you're looking for a job in any field as of right now, your best bet is to go into looking into AI because that's where the future is. Because somebody has to control the AI, right?
Right, right. Well, and that's why, you get into the whole one of the big catalysts to this transition that the globe's going through is the release for the need for money. And there's people can't wrap their head around that. Okay.
Uh, okay, so
Because energy
I don't have
can
my
be
glasses on.
free. Energy can be free. Electricity can be free. Heat can be free. Air conditioning can be free. You should be able to drive a car free.
Hmm.
Um, everything, the factories, all of that is can be free
Free. Hmm.
for real.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it can be.
And also look into, they say like the uh like cryptic money, whatever that's called,
Crypt, crypt, crypto,
cryptocurrency.
cryptocurrency. Yeah.
See, this is how far out I'm like totally not even, I don't understand. I don't even, I have a hard time understanding
To me, it's
how it
fake money.
works. It's fake money, but I'm telling you, what's going to happen is eventually you're going to be able to buy these houses with these coins.
I think you
You're going
already
to buy
can.
homes. You can, but the bank is now recognizing it. So like our money, and if you look at it, this is something that blew my mind is that you can actually, we could get our country out of debt with that money, with that cryptocurrency. They could actually do that with that. It's a lot to I've not digested all of how this works, but I
Yeah.
will tell you, listening to the telepathy tapes and learning about different realms or dimensions made me realize what cryptocurrency is. Basically, it's dimensional money. It's money in a different, just I don't know how to explain it. Like I just have a I'm very interested in that lately. That's something that I think we
Yeah,
all should
that's
look into.
interesting because from what I understand, there's no need for it.
Really.
Yeah.
Now, Bitcoin, I've heard, is different, kind of
There's no
going
need
away.
in like in the ether, in places like the hill, okay?
There's no need for it. There's
There's no need for it. So
it's
why would there be dimensional money? There's no
it's like
need
a
for it.
hologram.
There's no need. Oh, for us here.
Hmm.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Crazy shit. That's all I gotta say. There is no end to
Wow.
it.
And
We are,
someday, do you think when we die, we'll find out all the answers? Do we
I think we, I don't
go
know.
into another life, pick new parents?
I think you pick a new experience to have.
Right. I do too.
A new experience to have. Like, you know what? This time I want to be a hippie that lives on the beach. And that's what I am.
Hmm.
And I will
What
go
am I
through
going to
that
do next time?
experience. Or maybe I want to, I don't know. I don't know. I think some say that the source, God, whoever you want, whatever, the universe, whatever, is wanting to have the experience. That's what we're here for, to gain that experience. It all goes back to the source, it all gets uploaded. And I don't know, man. It comes to a point where all the different theories start getting really close. Yeah.
Hmm.
Because the part about this being a school, the part about, you know, the Matrix,
Hmm.
the part about all those start bleeding into one another.
Yeah.
I don't
And I
know.
love it. I could talk on it for days.
I'm telling you what, but we are out of time tonight. So we're done. Thank you, Shelly, for joining me tonight.
Hey,
I
it was fun.
appreciate you. Hang out afterwards and like and subscribe if you'd like this. And listen, if you want to be a co host as well on days when I don't have one, put your name at the bottom and like, subscribe, do all the things. It helps us out. Catch us next week. Hopefully, Tommy will be back. He had some technical issues this week, so he couldn't be here. But anyway, love yourself.